not even mean Bowers game for me.
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today we're excited to check out Dragon Pets from Japanime Games. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 plus. It'll take about 20 to 35 minutes to play. And in Dragon Pets, you're going to be trying to collect the same color of dragons so you can breed those dragons and gain coins from their offspring. You're also going to be trying to get different colors of dragons that you can breed together, and you're going to be rolling dice, modifying dice allocation game, but it's also a matching game. Lots of different things going into this family weight game, but is it good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what should I get inside of Dragon Pets. So first and foremost, we got our handy dandy rule booklet. It's about, 10 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. It's incredibly well done. It should have you up and running in no time at all. Very simple rule booklet. Also, a very easy game, so I can give you a feel for how the game works right now. So in Dragon Pets, you are going to try to get the most coins, these little doodads right here, by mating dragons. So as you can see out here, we have a whole bunch of dragons. Some of them will have the male symbol or the female symbol. I don't remember which one that is. And some will have the female symbol or the male symbol. You get what I'm saying here. If you can get both of these dragons, then you can mate them and you can gain yourself 6 coins. Pretty simple. But there's also some dice rolling, a little bit of backstabbery as you can potentially steal people's dragons out from underneath them, and a lot of other stuff going on. So let's go over the components. Let's get into the gameplay. So first, I have a 3-player version of the game set up. And right now, you're always going to have a 4x4 grid of dragons set up. You're also going to start with 2 cards, making sure they're different colors, and the cards will have a slightly different back, as you can see. So start with 2 random cards, and there'll be 2 dragons. Now, everything out here is going to be either male or female dragons of different colors, except for dragon eggs, which are right here. And you only have a very limited amount of dragon eggs. If you're playing a 2-player game, 2 dragon eggs, 3-player game, 3 dragon eggs, 4-player game, 4 dragon eggs. And dragon eggs are special because as soon as you get a dragon egg, you immediately get 2 points. There's no mating of eggs, obviously, or else I really don't know how eggs work. Also, if you have 2 eggs, then you can use those as any color you want because there is a different set collection aspect to this game, where at the end of the game, if you have all the different colors of dragons, then you will gain 5 additional coins, which is a really good chunk of change. But let's go over what's all on here. So we got our 4x4 grid set out. You also notice we have these little circle discs set out on the outside. This is going to be used when we roll these dice. And you might notice that these colored dice correspond to these colors around the outside, and I'll show you how that works in a little bit. Everybody's going to get their handy dandy little player aid card, which is actually very useful. It walks you through all the steps that you'll be taking on your turn, or all the steps that you can take on your turn. Because on your turn, and let's just go ahead and get to our turn, you are going to be able to do numerous different things, but you are only going to be required to do one thing, which is to place a seeker, which are one of these 3 meeples that you have right here. So let's go over what you're going to be doing on your turn. So the first player, and only the first player, is going to roll the dice like so, and we're going to take a look at what we have on the dice. We got 1, 1, 2, that's really hard to see, it's a 5, and a 6. So now what you're going to do is you have the option going from the top to the bottom to do all of these. So capture the creatures. All players receive the creatures that have one of their seekers on the card. Well, obviously, we have no seekers on any cards, so this is not going to be worth our while. Also, if you choose to do this action, it's going to take you a coin, and it's going to benefit everyone else at the same time. So there's this little tug of war here as you try not to be the one to pay the coin in order to pick up all the dragons. So we're obviously not going to do that one, but how it would look is if you had, say, these 2 guys right here, then you would pick up both of these cards, you take back both your keepers, and then you put both of these guys into your hand, potentially scoring dragons. So this time we would not actually score a dragon because those 2 yellows are the same sex. Everyone else would also get to pick up their dragons, though, and score as well. So the next thing you can do is you can refill the grid. So let's go back to that previous example where these 2 cards are gone. If I don't refill the grid, these 2 spots will stay as empty. Whereas if I refill the grid, I will pay a coin to the bank, and you start with 8 coins in this game, and you will refill the grid like so. Pretty self-explanatory stuff. Also, you have to say where you're going to put a card before you actually look at the card. So, pay a coin, and you can optionally do that. The next optional thing you can do is re-roll the dice, and you're going to be able to re-roll all 5 dice. Now, this will really come into play sometimes when maybe there's a die that you can't place for one reason or another. And when I show you how the dice work, that will make more sense. Last but not least, and the only required action you must take is to place a seeker. So place one of your 3 seekers out on the board. If you ever cannot place a seeker out on the board, which most of the time is going to be your own fault, sometimes it'll be bad dice rolling, but most of the time it's your own fault, you have to pay 5 coins. Never seen it happen, but wow, that would be really terrible if it did happen. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with the dice. So we'll put the white die to the side right now. That's a little bit of a special die, but oh, actually, you know what? Whoops. We're going to pretend like we're playing on this side because I set this up a little bit screwy, but whatever. So we're on this side over here. That's where all our stuff is. So let's take a look at the dice. We have a 1 orange, which means we could acquire this card if we wanted because we count 1. If we had a 2, it'd go here, a 3, and a 4, so on and so forth. The gray one, we could acquire this die right here because it's the 1 in our gray row. Now, we have a 6 on this die. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You see a problem here? We can't actually play this dice without modifying it. So right now we can't play the 6 and we can't play the 5. So let's take a look what we got here. We got 2 yellow dragons with those tails. And actually that's exactly what I want. But for the sake of this example, I'm going to pretend like that's not what I want. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to come back to this white die right here. And the white die allows you to modify any of the dice going up or down. So I could make this into a 3, or I could make this into a 3 and get that dragon egg. Or I could make this into a 4. So 6 minus 2 would give me 4, then I could get that green one. So for this particular example, let's just say I want that dragon egg. So I'm going to spend the 1, I'm going to spend the 3. I'll leave that right there. And then I'll put my blue guy right here. I've now claimed that spot. Now, I pass all the dice without modifying them to the player to the next player. However, I only pass these 3 dice. I don't pass those 2 dice. Those dice are going to stay on the board. So now it goes to the next player's turn. They obviously aren't going to capture the creatures because they don't have anyone on the board. They're not going to refill the grid because the grid is full. They might want to re-roll the dice, though. Well, let's take a look. So their only choice that they have is to take this one right here. So you know what? This early in the game, they're probably going to save their money. They're going to say, nope, I'm going to spend that guy right there. So the red would take that one and be like, I'm pretty happy with that one. So then it goes to the next player. Now the next player is really shafted. They have no choice. They are going, well, they can't capture the creatures because they don't have anything on the board, but they will have to re-roll the dice because they can't play the 5, they can't play the 6, which means they're going to pick up all the dice, pay a coin to the bank, and re-roll the dice, and now they're going to reuse whatever is here. Anywho, you're going to continue to go until you cannot refill the entire grid. So when that time when you have to refill the grid and you can't refill the grid, that will immediately end the game. You're going to tally up how many points you have, which is coins. You are also going to lose coins based on what's in your hand. So let's just say this was what I had left in my hand. I would lose 8 coins because I did not make these dragons. So it's got kind of a Ticket to Ride-esque aspect where you don't want to overextend yourself on the dragons that you take. You also will get 5 additional coins if you can collect 1 of every color of dragon, or all but 1 color of the dragon, and then you have 2 dragon eggs because the dragon eggs can count as wild. The only other rule that I did not mention is the fact that you can steal dragons from other people. So let's say this person rolled right here, and actually this is a perfect example. They got a 4 and they got a 2, so they're going to take 4 minus 2, and they're going to put that right there, and then they're going to bloop, bump me out of the way. But in order to do that, they're going to have to pay me a coin, which still kind of stinks because I want that dragon egg, but still getting a coin is not the end of the world. But anywho, you're going to continue to play until the end of the game, at which point you will tally up who has the most coins, and whoever has the most coins will be the winner of Dragon Pets. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Dragon Pets from Japanime Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. 2 to 4 players, restricted player count. Also, I liked it best at 3 and 4 players. It's not bad at 2 players, but I liked it best at 3 and 4 players, just period. I just thought it was a better game at that player count. It just made things more interesting. You were much more likely to bump other people off, which is pretty satisfying. So yeah, liked it best at 3 and 4 players. Another comment I have with this game is that I think it's going to be a little bit too light for a lot of people. It definitely is a family weight game. It's the kind of game that you can play with younger kids. I'd say ages 7, 8 plus, no problem. But as a gamery game, I just don't know if there's enough meat on the bones to this. It's a little bit too repetitive. You're just going to be going around and putting your guys down, occasionally rolling the dice. Not to say that it's not a fun game for adults, because I did play it with a game group and we were like, oh yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed it. But I don't think it's the kind of thing that's going to hit my table, at least again, with adults. This is primarily one that I'm going to use in my classroom and with my son when he gets older to play as a family game. Any other cons that I have with the game? No, not really. I mean, moving on to the pros, I really enjoyed this game. I think it's a great game. Just flat out. I think it is a great family game. I think if you are a lighter gamer and you play lighter games on your game nights, I think this is definitely one that you could use as a family game and as a game night game. It does not outstay its welcome. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach. It goes pretty snappy, the teaching of the game as well. The components are nice. I like the artwork in the game. Granted, that's a your mileage may vary kind of thing. And the gameplay had just enough to keep me interested every single time that I've played. And while, yes, I would like to see a little bit more spice here, maybe some more special stuff like the dragon's eggs mixed in there, right now, out of the box, Dragon Pets is a rock-solid family game that I definitely can recommend. So what did I like about the game? So first and foremost, there's a lot of different mini aspects to this game that all worked really well. Like there's a slight push your luck aspect of this game with the fact that if you overextend yourself on those dragons, you're really going to be hurting, because I really enjoy the fact that if you take too many dragons, you're going to lose. Like you have to be matching those dragons up, because if somebody sees that you have a whole handful of cards, they're going to try to end the game as fast as they can. I also really like that cat and mouse, that tug of war when it comes to rolling the dice and picking up the people, because you don't want to be the person who picks up the people, or you don't want to be the person who rolls the dice, because that benefits everybody at the table. Yes, it benefits you, and it benefits you even more, especially if you're rolling the dice, because then you have 5 dice to choose from, but it still benefits everybody else a little bit, and you have to pay a coin. So I really like that aspect of Hot Potato, where it's like, I'm not going to be the one who's going to pay the coin. I'm not going to be the one who's going to pay the coin. And the kids I played it with and the adults I played with agreed with that. They really liked that aspect of the game. The handy dandy player aid card was nice as well. I wish maybe they would have put something on the back about how the game ends. But other than that, can't complain about that too much. And the components, I mean, the components are perfectly serviceable. So in the end, Dragon Pets, great family game. I would also say this is a great lightweight filler game if you play lighter games on your game night. Either way, I think this is one that you're going to want to try out to see if it might be your cup of tea. So that is Dragon Pets from Japanime Game, ones that I will be keeping on my shelf, most likely for the next couple of years in my classroom, because I know my kids really enjoyed it, but eventually taking it home and playing with my family as well. So that is Dragon Pets from Japanime Games. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Would you like to have a dragon as a pet? Look at it from a realistic point of view. I'm assuming we're going like a Komodo dragon, or like one of these dragons, like a fire-breathing dragon. Obviously, well, here's the thing. If I had a fire-breathing dragon, I feel like I would just get murdered. I feel like someone would probably kill me and then kill the dragon. They would just not be cool with that much power being in there. But a Komodo, you know what? I don't want a dragon pet. I just don't. Nope. You know, but then I could sell it. Yeah, I could sell it. If it was a fire-breathing dragon, I could sell it. So yes, I do want a dragon, but it only it's a fire-breathing dragon. I can probably sell a Komodo dragon too. I gotta figure they're probably worth quite a good deal of money. You know what? I'll get a dragon, but then that thing's gonna be on Craigslist later that day. But let me know in the comments below. Do you want a dragon? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.